Hey everybody, Ryan here. Just wanted to give you guys an update on the indicator. Just want to thank everybody for your input, and I hope everybody's enjoying so far this 5-minute index metal alert room and indicator. Okay, so just a couple features. I've been working on strategies and to figure out how to improve this strategy, as not all signals that we're getting are working, and we are missing a lot of good ones. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was in the last video we had talked about using only candles that touch the 20 MA, okay, and then open on one side and close on the other, followed by an engulf. In this case, if we were doing a short, it would be a bear engulf that engulfs the bull candle. All right. Now, the first thing I've noticed is when using the 200 MA, we're not getting enough signals, and it's not happening consistently enough. So I've actually come into settings here, and I've been using the 50 average, moving average, which has seemed to be a lot better, a lot more consistent, okay? And then the idea behind this is that, you know, we eventually want to automate this and attach it to PineScript, okay? So saying that, a second feature that we're trying to perfect is adding an offset feature. So in this case, for example, where I have this arrow pointed, we have a bull candle followed by an engulf, all right, and we also have one right here. And so we want to add an offset feature so we can offset the amount of points to the SMA, so it doesn't actually have to touch, all right? So first off, the new rule would be you don't have to close on the top side of the SMA, all right? We just have to come close, followed by an engulf. And that seems to be more than sufficient for after the 2050 cross, all right? So the first feature that we will be adding to this indicator will be, okay, an offset, and as well as the feature in the coding saying it doesn't have to touch, it doesn't have to start over the top. It just has to come close, followed by an engulfed candle. All right. The second feature that we're going to be adding, which is the big one, so it's a big algorithm. I've spoken to a few programmers, and it will take a week or two possibly to even fix. All right, depending on the programmer itself. But in this case, because of the program that we were using, he did add a slope feature, but as you can see right here, it just simply doesn't work. Okay, so the idea behind the slope feature is that we want both the 50 and the 20 MA, we both want them pointed into the trade direction. So anytime either one of these MAs is not pointed in trade direction, so this one is flat, this signal would not happen. Okay, now if we're using the Pine connector, what we would do is we would only take the first cross, the first setup after the cross. All right, so in saying that, it would be this one. We would have a feature where exactly, let's see if we can measure that a little bit here. So we're looking at 6944 moving up 6953. So we can add 10 points, you know, on Australia, and obviously 10 points would be a lot on gold. But for the Australia ASX, we can add a 10-point offset feature, so we would get this signal. And then obviously, as you can see, if we looked at how many points that would be, it would be pretty sufficient with no drawdown at all. Okay, so we can do this, and for there we would have 82 points. All right, I mean, that's not a bad little trade. All right, where your stop loss would still be. All right, now the stop loss, I've been working on the stop loss and what would be the best tactic for stop loss. Now in this case, your stop loss, all right, if we stuck to that, it would only be 11 points. But to be honest with you, I've been using the 50 more as a stop loss lately. So, you know, you could bring that over, say, to about 20 points. So you'd have a 20-point stop loss. And like mentioned, that would have been 80-point gain, which would have been a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is not bad. Okay, so the main feature that we are trying to perfect here is the slope feature. The offset feature is going to be an easy one to fix. That's going to be an easy one to add. And then the second feature that I'm going to be adding, first of all, if anybody have been playing around with this, the candles look back candle of MA before this rule, the programmer simply just did not understand what we meant. And so we are going to be removing this feature because it doesn't seem to be working if you have more than 0 on there. As you can see, most of the signals went away there. So this feature is going to be completely removed. Okay. The last feature that we want to be adding is very simple. We want to be able to cut off any signals, any alerts after X amount of candles. So for example, what I'm finding is, within 100 bars, soon after the MA cross, the best signals come from, the best setups come from soon after the cross. So on this feature, we would be saying, for example, we can set it to X, so 100 bars, anything after 100 bars, any signals would become invalid. For example, this one where they have the X here would be invalid, all right? Now, as you can see, with the 50 and the 20, we do have some pretty great signals coming through. We have a cross within, let's have a look here. Oops, excuse me. So yeah, that would be one more than valid if we kept it at 100 bars. My bad. Sorry guys, there we go. And yes, so within 50 bars, we would have had that signal. And as you can see, that would have been a decent sized trade. A small risk, massive reward, all right? Now, I know we do have a couple signals after here, but I mean, to be honest with you wouldn't keep adding positions. Personally, I wouldn't. It is a 5-minute scalper. I would just take this, once I had a one-to-one risk to reward done, I would move my entrance to break even and let it ride out for whichever risk you want to take. I personally is still going for a 3 times the risk to reward. Obviously that's up to you. Now this is just Australia ASX, so let's have a look through some other charts, the other 7 that we are running this on. Okay. Again, all right, so what we're seeing here is we could, this signal right here. Now, obviously we're not gonna win everyone, so this could be maybe for Germany 30. Maybe we would decide the rule would be that your own personal rule. As we do this more, we'll find out more. From the cross, 75 bars, this one's 70, so maybe we run it at 75 bars. Maybe it's within the first 50 bars. Again, the best one to be there. But I see right away over here with the offset feature would have worked absolutely fantastic. We could have had right here, if not correct. Yeah, oh, excuse me. There we have a bull candle engulfed. All right, it did come back. It did draw back a little bit, but again, it didn't pass the wick. All right, and so that little feature right there, that little offset feature, let's see, could have been set to 15.356 straight up. 15.381. So on Germany 30, it could have been, an added extra 30, 40 points, and the offset feature would have given us a signal. And as you can see, again, it's soon after the cross, okay? And the gang there is absolutely unreal. This is, say we'll call it 15.300, all the way down to, yeah, that would have been 175 points. Again, on an index, you can't go wrong with that. All right, so then this signal will not be there with the X candles after cross feature, and then again, right after we have a cross, and guess what happens? We have another 130 points in the bag. I mean, that can't go wrong with that. Again, here, let's see what this one is. Just have, obviously this can be adjusted for each individual index. X candles after cross would make any trade invalid. So yeah, maybe 50 would be the key. Maybe that would be good. Again, it wouldn't be a big loss after the 2 big wins. You wouldn't really be too worried about that. We're never going to get 100% of these right, but I mean, for the most part, we have a better average of winning than we do of losing. All right, let's move on. Okay, so here's a couple that I want to show you. Both of these signals would be invalid, all right, because we do have flat MAs, so the slope feature would fix this, so we won't get these 2 signals. And then here, straight after cross, we have an engulf, And, you know, it depends obviously what you're going for, but after a 1 to 1, you would move your stop loss to break even. Maybe you didn't take one after 1 to 2 and it comes back up and hits your stop loss. But again, no harm done. Now, if we look just past this, this is NASDAQ. We have an offset feature that would have worked perfectly, okay? Like so. All right. Now in this case, it would have been 14,526. So with a 22, 23 point offset on NASDAQ, we would have got this signal. And as you can see, we are already doing pretty good. All right, so that's great. So now let's move on again. Now silver. Again, offset feature. This would only be a few points here. All right, and we would have had a fantastic trade. Okay. Now we have a cross, and that seems to be working perfectly so far. We'll see how this one plays out. S&P 500. All right. Again, I said like we're not going to win every one, but this one, yeah, we definitely would have lost this one, and we would have lost a few points there. Again, it's if you have it on Pine Connector, you would have lost it. If you're doing manually, it's really up to you. If you want to take such a big engulf, it's great. It's really up to you. But then soon after, again, with the arrow right here with the offset feature, it would have only been, let's see, a couple points added to the offset feature, and we have a winner. All right, and then in this case right here, you wouldn't be taking this one because you would still be in the trade. And by the time it came back up, you'd probably be already out. All right, and again, we have another one right here, another offset feature that would work perfectly. Boom. Beautiful engulf, and look at it take off. All right, so that would have gotten a signal. Your Pine Connector would have been connected, and you would have made plenty of points there. UK 100, FTSE. All right, again. All right, so dun dun dun. Now the slip feature on this one wouldn't have come through. Unfortunately, we would have lost on this one. And again, that is a 1 to 1, so you would have broken even there. So that would have been absolutely fine. All right. And we have this one would have been, this is the offset feature right here that would have worked. We have your bull candle, your bear candle, and you would have had 3 to 4 times risk to reward. By that point, you wouldn't have taken this alert. You would have waited for a new cross. All right, so then we have the slope feature coming into play here, where this alert you wouldn't have received. And we actually have 1, 2, 3 in a row using the 50 and the 20 that work absolutely perfectly, okay? But obviously, again, you'd have only taken this one. Stop loss would have been over top of the 50 or at the top of the wick of the 2 candle setup. And you would have had, that's about 6 times the reward. That's absolutely amazing. Look at US 30 right now, new buy signal, boom. Looking back here, you have 1, 2, 3 ones that would have worked. So obviously this one, which is the one that you would have taken just as the indicator is set up right now. So it is still a working indicator, guys, but obviously with that slope feature and be able to add the offset feature, as well as adding a feature where we can cancel any setups after X amount of candles after the SMA cross, is going to be absolutely incredible. Hooked up to the Pine Connector, adjusting the X candles for points on each index and each metal. We'll have to figure out which works best, but that's something that we can add personally on in the settings, which will be a couple features down here. So reaching out to the programmer, I've got a couple ridiculous prices for how much this is going to cost, but we are doing our best. So I am looking for a quote, but if you could answer kindly in the anonymous poll, if you guys would be willing to chip in 20 USD, the script, the indicator will be yours for life. So there's no rental fees, of course. We're not in this to make money. We're just here to pay for the cost of the script. And we want everybody to enjoy making money with this 5-minute index metal scalper strategy. Hope you guys have a nice day, a great trading week. I look forward to your responses, and we'll speak to you all soon. Have a good one. Bye.